संसार में ऐसी कोई भी समस्या नहीं है जो आपके मन की शक्ति से अधिक शक्तिशाली हो। हेलो दोस्तों, आप सबको हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं इस कोटेशन के साथ। समस्याएं तो सबके साथ है, पर समस्याओं का हल करने के लिए आपको आगे आना होगा, तभी ये समस्याएं आपके जीवन से दूर होगी। चलिए, आज की समस्याएं हमारे पास यही है कि हम अधिक से अधिक प्रश्नों को सॉल्व करें। लेट्स स्टार्ट। तो पहला प्रश्न है, कंसिडर द फॉलोइंग स्टेटमेंट विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू PSLV C-53 PSLV C-53 missions. It is the 53rd mission of Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle and the first mission using PSLV core alone variant. The PSLV Orbital Experimental Module OM onwards performed in the orbit scientific experiment using the spent PS4 stage as an orbital platform. Which are the correct? Only B is the right answer. PSLV C-53 is the 55th मिशन ऑफ द पोलर सैटेलाइट लॉन्च व्हीकल। PSLV का 55वां मिशन था ये। 15वां मिशन यूजिंग पोलर सैटेलाइट लॉन्च व्हीकल कोर अलोन वेरिएंट। PSLV C-53 is the second dedicated commercial mission of NSIL. This is the second dedicated commercial mission of NSIL. PSLV Orbital Experimental Module POEM activity is performed in the orbit scientific experiments using the spent PS4 stage as an orbital platform. It is the first time that PS4 stage would orbit the Earth as a stabilized platform. Altitude stabilization is achieved using a dedicated NGC system. POEM derives the power from the solar panels mounted around the PS4 tank and a Lion battery. PSLV C-53 was successfully launched today. Consider the following statements on GST Council. It is a constitutional body which was constituted by the 101st Constitutional Amendment Act 2016. The quorum of the council is 10% of the total number of the members of the present and voting. Center has one-third of the voting rights in the council. Absolutely, third is incorrect. So you can answer, got your answer. 1 and 3 is the right answer. How it possible? Center is one-third. 2/3. Yes, one-third. Yes. Because 2 is absolutely incorrect. quorum के लिए 50% चाहिए। जीएसटी काउंसिल का गठन जो है 101 कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट के बाद 2016 में किया गया और एक नया आर्टिकल 279 जोड़ा गया, 79A, 279A। 1/2 of the total numbers of the members of the council is the quorum. 25% चाहिए किसी भी मीटिंग को गठित करने के लिए जीएसटी में। और प्रत्येक डिसीजन जो काउंसिल का जो डिसीजन होता है वो मेजॉरिटी के साथ लिया जाता है। is taken by the majority of not less than 3/4 of the weighted votes of the members present and voting at the meeting. The vote of the central government shall have a weightage of 1/3 of the total votes cast in the meetings. The votes of all the states government combined shall have a weightage of 2/3 of total votes cast in that meeting. GST Council held in 47th meeting recently. Consider the following statement with respect to Competition Commission of India. It is a statutory body within the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and it is responsible for the enforcing the Competition Act 2002. The Commission is also required to give an opinion on the competition issue on the reference received from a statutory authority established by any law. CCI also approves combination under the act so that two merging entities don't overtake the market. Which are the correct? I think C is the right answer. 2 and 3. You know what that Competition Commission of India is a chief national competition regulator of India. It is a statutory body within the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and it is responsible for enforcing the Competition Act 2002 in the order to promote competition and prevent activities that have an appreciable adverse effect on competition in India. The Commission is also required to give an opinion on competition issue on a reference received from a statutory authority established under any law and undertake competition advocacy, create public awareness, and impart training on the competition issue. CCI also approves combinations, a combination under the Act so that merging entities don't overtake the market. CCI approved proposed combination involving Google International LLC and Bharti Airtel Limited. Bonalu. What is this? Bonalu? Bonalu is a festival that is celebrated in Telangana, traditional Hindu festival centered on goddess Mahakali. Festival is celebrated annually in twins cities of Hyderabad and Secunderabad, as well as in the part of the states. It is it is an offering to the mother goddess. Women prepare rice cooked with milk and jaggery in a new brass or earthen pot adorned with neem leaves, turmeric, vermilion, and a lit lamp on the top of the pot. Women carry the pots on their heads and make an offering of the bonum along with turmeric, vermilion, bangles, and sari to the mother goddess across the temples. With the reference to the Going Online as a Leader Program 2.0, consider the following. It aims to digitally upskill youth by promoting entrepreneurship amongst tribal communities of the country. It has been launched by the Ministry of Tribal Affairs in partnership with Microsoft India, which are the correct. I think A is the right answer. It aims to digitally upskill 10 lakh youth by on promoting entrepreneurship amongst tribal communities of the country and opening up opportunities for them using digital technology. Ministry of Tribal Affairs launched at the second phase of Going Online as a Leader Program, Goal Program. The program is a joint initiative of the Ministry of Tribal Affairs and Meta. Second phase of Goal Program for uplifting the tribal communities through the digital entrepreneurship launched. Consider the following statement about landslides. It is a form of mass wasting which is not affected by the exogenic factors. The most vulnerable region for the landslide in India are Himalayas and Eastern Ghats. Absolutely, B is the right answer should be answer. Not neither one nor two. Landslide are the mass movement which result in the movement of geometrical geomaterials like rock, mud, boulders down the slope under the influence of gravity. Gravity is the primary driving forces for landslide to occur, but there are other factors affecting slope stability that produces a specific condition that makes a slope prone to failure. In many cases, the landslide is triggered by a specific event such as a heavy rainfall, an earthquake, slope cut to build a road, and many others, although this is not always identifiable. According to the third edition of the Vulnerability Atlas of India, the most vulnerable region are the Himalayas and Western Ghats. So why should be wrong? Because Eastern Ghat दिया होगा क्या? Yeah, Western Ghat is more prone. There was a landslide in Manipur which resulted in a loss of lives. Consider the following statements with respect to IMF, International Monetary Fund. Membership in the UN is a prerequisite for the membership in the IMF. Presently, India is the eighth largest holder SDR quota. IMF grants extended fund facility for low income countries with urgent balance of payments need. Choose the correct answer using code given below. I think out of them, one should be out of them. Two is the only right answer. Any country may be applied to be a part of IMF. Post IMF formation in the early post-war period, the rules for the IMF membership were left relatively loose. Members needed to make a periodic membership payment to wash their quota, to refrain from currency restriction rules unless granted IMF permissions, to abide by the codes of conducts in the IMF articles of agreements, and to provide national economic information. However, strict rules were imposed on governments that apply to the IMF for funding. Membership is in the IMF is prerequisite to the membership is in the IBRD. The present share of India is the 2.75. India is the eighth largest in the IMF quota. Extended fund facility is one such instrument through which the IMF extend loans to the various countries to come out the economic crisis. Snake Island, frequently in news. Where it is? Snake Island, it's, Black Sea. Snake Island, also known as a Serpent Island, is an island belonging to Ukraine, located in Black Sea near the Danube Delta, with an important role in the delimiting Ukrainian territorial waters. On 24th February 2022, the two Russian Navy warships attacked and captured Snake Island. It was since heavily bombarded by Ukraine. Russia announced that it had returned troops from the Snake Island in a gesture of goodwill. With the reference to the external debt of India, consider the following statement. India's short-term debt with original maturity below 1 year forms the major part of the external debt. US dollar denominated debt remained the largest component of the external debt. Both are incorrect. Because UPSC already asked this question. But yes, I am wrong about B. Because India's long-term debt with original maturity above 1 year is almost higher. I mean, almost 90%. That is $499 billion. US dollar denominated debt remained the largest component of external debt with a share of 53%. RBI said net claims on non-resident on India increased by 5.6 billion during the fourth quarter. Consider the following statement with respect to leprosy. Leprosy. It is a chronic bacterial infection caused by Mycobacterium leprosy. It is mainly affects the peripheral nervous, upper respiratory tract, and leading of the nose. Clofazimine is one of the essential drugs in the multi-drug treatment of multibacillary leprosy. Choose the correct answer. All the above. Leprosy is also known as Hassan's disease. Leprosy is a chronic, progressive bacterial infection caused by a bacterium called Microbacterium leprosy, which is an acid-fast rod-shaped bacillus. Common symptoms present in the different types of leprosy include running nose, dry scalp, eye problems, skin lesion, muscles weakness, reddish skin, smooth, shiny, diffuse thickening of facial skin, ear and hand, loss of sensation in fingers and toes, thickening of peripheral nerves, a flat nose from destruction of nasal cartilage, and changes in the pathonation and other aspects of speech production. Clofazimine, ephedrine, is one of the three essential drugs in the multi-drug treatment of the multibacillary leprosy (MBMDT) cases, along with the rifampicin, pepsin, and dapsone. It is not just for the therapy, a cure of leprosy, but also for controlling acute ex or exacerbation of the disease. Consider the following statement with respect to Financial Service Institution Bureau (FSIB). Financial Services Institution Bureau will select the chief of the public sector banks and insurance companies. FSIB will be the single entity for making recommendation for the appointments of WTD and NEC, non-executive, the public sector banks. The chairman of FSIB will be appointed by the Ministry of Finance, which are the correct. Only and only एक और दो. देखिए Financial Service Institution Bureau will select the chief of the public sector banks, insurance company. FSIV will have the clear mandate to issue guidelines and select the general manager and director of the state of run non-life insurers, general insurers, and financial institutions. FSIB will be the single entity for making recommendation for appointments of WTD and NEC, non-executive chairman in the public sector banks, India Private Limited Company and financial institution. The FSIB will comprise a chairperson nominated by the central government, Secretariat of Department of Financial Service and Public Enterprises, the chairman of the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India, and a deputy governor of Reserve Bank of India. Apart from them, there will be three members with knowledge of banks with other financial institutions, and three more with knowledge of insurance according to the order. The Cabinet Appointments Committee has passed a government resolution to establish the Financial Services Institution Bureau (FSIB) in the place of the Banks Board Bureau (BBB), with reference to the autonomous flying wings technology demonstrator. Answer the following statement. It refers to the tailless fixed wing tailless fixed wing aircraft that houses its payload and fuel in its main wings. The UCAV will have capable of launching missiles and precision guided munitions, which are the correct. I think C. UACV refers to the tailless fixed wing aircraft that houses its payload and fuel in its main wings and does not have a defined fuselage like structure found in the conventional aircraft. The design has a potential to deliver high fuel efficiency and stability if executed with precision. It refers to a tailless fixed wing aircraft that houses its payload and fuel in its main wings and does not have a defined fuselage like structure found in the conventional aircraft. The design has the potential to deliver high fuel efficiency and stability if executed with the precision. The UCAV will be capable of launching missiles and precision guided munitions. Defense Research and Development Organization (DRDO) carried out the maiden test flight of a new unmanned aerial vehicle autonomous flying wings technology demonstrator. India's largest fully operational floating solar power plant is located in Telangana. India's largest floating solar power plant is now fully operational at Ramagundam in Telangana. A 100 megawatt floating solar power photovoltaic project was commissioned by the National Thermal Power Corporation, the country's foremost public sector power generator. Consider the following statement regarding Konark Sun Temple. The temple is attributed to the king Narsimdev, Narsimdev Dutya of the Western Ganga dynasty, built in 13th century. It is the only sun temple in India to be declared as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is also popularly called Black Pagoda, Konark Sun Temple. Which are the correct? केवल और केवल डी सही है, दो और तीन. Because the temple is attributed to the King Narsimdev Pratham of the Eastern Ganga dynasty. 13th century temple is dedicated to Hindu sun god Surya. Out of the total 40 Indian sites listed in UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Sun Temple in Konark is the only Sun Temple to be listed. The temple was called Black Pagoda in European sailors' account as early as 1676 because it looked like a great tiered tower which appeared black. Works of pilot project to restore the Sun Temple's carving are on the verge of the completion. Consider the following statement about National Investigation Agency (NIA). NIA is a non-statutory body which functions under the supervision of Home Ministry. NIA, similar to CBI, should take states' consent before initiating investigation within a state. No, only A or D, only D. NIA is a statutory body which came into the existence with the enactment of the National Investigation Agency Act 2008 by the Parliament of India, which was passed after 2/26/11 terror attack in Mumbai. National Investigation Agency (NIA) is the primary counter-terrorist task force in India. The agency is empowered to deal with the investigation of terror-related crimes across states without special permission from the states under a written proclamation from Ministry of Home Affairs. NIA was in news due to the several high-profile cases being assigned to the agency. MIRR 444 seen in news recently is a RNA gene transcription factor MADS27 which regulates nitrate absorption, root development, stress, stress tolerance is activated by the microRNA MIR444, therefore offering a new way to control these properties of plant. This MIR444 can be used to increase nitrate absorption, enhance root development, and help the plant to tolerate more stress. Research have found a new pathway that regulates nitrate absorption in plants. Consider the following statement with respect to patents in India. The Office of the Controller General of Patents, Design and Trademarks under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs is the body responsible for Indian Patent Act, both Indian as well as foreign. Applicant can file for a patent under the provisions of this act. The term for the protection of the product patent shall be for 10 years. Choose the correct answer using the code given below. Only B. Patent Act 1970 is the legislation that till date governs patent in India. It first came into the force in 1972. The Office of the Controller General of Patent Design and Trademark CGPDTM is the body responsible for the Indian Patent Act. It comes under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Jurisdiction for filing the patent applications depends upon Indian applicants determined according to the place of residence, place of business of applicant, or where the invention actually originated, foreign applicant determined by the address for service in India. Term for protection of product patent shall be for 20 years. There is a proposal to reduce the pre-grant opposition procedure under the Indian Patent Act. Consider the following about Alluri Sitaram Raju. Rising discontent towards the British led by Ramappa Rebellion in 1945. He had adopted aspects from non-cooperation movement such as promoting temperance to attract the people's support. Lord Reading was the viceroy during the Ramappa rebellion. These are the correct, only 2 and 3. Because Alluri Sitaram Raju, born present-day Andhra Pradesh, became involved in opposing the British response in 1882 Madras Forest Act, which effectively restricted the free movement of Adivasi tribal communities in their forest habitats and prevented them from participating as a traditional from the agriculture known as Podu. He led Ramappa rebellion in 1924. Alluri had adopted aspects from non-cooperation movement such as promoting temperance, boycott of colonial courts in the favor of local justice, administered by panchayat courts to attract the people's support. Lord Reading, 1921 to 1926, was viceroy during the Ramappa rebellion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched year-long celebration to remember contribution of Alluri Sitaram Raju. Answered the following statements about FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. It regulates the acceptance and utilization of foreign contribution or foreign hospitality by certain individuals or association or companies. FCRA allows Indians to receive up to 1 lakh in a year from relatives staying abroad without informing the authorities. So not only and only is the right answer. Foreign Contribution Regulation Act 2010 is an act of the Parliament of India. It is a consolidating act whose scope is to regulate the acceptance and utilization of foreign contribution. It prohibits acceptance and utilization of foreign contribution hospitality for any activities detrimental to the national interest. FCRA allows Indians to receive up to 10 lakh in a year from relatives staying abroad without informing authorities. FCRA function under the supervision of Ministry of Home Affairs. Government recently amended FCRA, increased the sum that relatives living abroad can send up to 10 lakh. With references to the Lisbon Declaration, consider the following statement. Lisbon Declaration aims to protect biodiversity in areas beyond the national jurisdiction. The theme of the declaration is our ocean, our future, call for an action. Correct. Which are correct about Lisbon Declaration. Only one, because it aims to protect biodiversity in areas beyond national jurisdiction which lie outside 322 kilometers exclusive economic zones of the countries. The Ocean Conference adopted the declaration entitled Our Ocean, Our Future, Our Responsibility as an outcome document and recommends that the General Assembly endorse it at the 76th session. UN Ocean Conference ended recently with the adoption of Lisbon Declaration, with the reference to the Large Hadron Collider. Answer the following statement. It is the world's largest and the highest energy particle collider used to study particle physics. The goal of the experiment is to allow physicists to test measuring the properties of Higgs boson. The collider primarily collides two opposing beams of electrons at the high speed. Which are the correct? All are nahi, 1 and 2. Large Hadron Collider LSC is the world's largest and the highest energy particle collider. It was built by the European Organization for Nuclear Research CERN between 1998 and 2008 in collaboration with the over 10,000 scientists and hundreds of universities and laboratories as well as more than 100 countries. LSC is the goal is to allow the physicists to test the prediction of the different theories of particle physics, including measuring the properties of Higgs boson, is searching for the large family of the new particles predicted by the supersymmetric theories and other unresolved questions in particle physics. LSC primarily collides proton beams, but it can also accelerate beams of heavy ions, lead 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 collision, and proton lead collision are typically performed for 1 month a year. The collider has four crossing points where the accelerator particles collide, seven detectors, each designed to detect the different phenomena are the position around the crossing points. Scientists at a CERN observed the three exotic particles for the first time. Thian, a test bed which was launched recently, is related to Thian. It is a autonomous navigation technology innovation hub on a autonomous navigation. It is a multidisciplinary initiative which will make India a global player in the futuristic and next generation smart mobility technology. In India, there is a presently no such test bed facility for assessing the autonomous vehicle performance and hence the need for this Thian test bed for the autonomous navigation at IIT Hyderabad, a unique first of its kind, state of the art, futuristic autonomous navigation facility to develop unmanned ground and aerial vehicles. Consider the following statement with respect to ranking of the states on the support to startup ecosystem. DPIIT has been conducting the state's startup ranking exercise since 2014. Gujarat and Karnataka emerge as the top performers, which are the correct. Okay, D. Neither one nor two. Department 4 Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade DPIIT has been conducting the state's startup ranking exercise since 2018 to facilitate the ease of building a startup and doing business across the country. Gujarat and Karnataka emerged as the best performers in categories of the states which included NCT of Delhi. Meghalaya won the top honor among the UTs and northeastern states, while Kerala, Maharashtra, Odisha, and Telangana got the top performers award among the states. Jammu and Kashmir emerged as the top performer among the UTs and any states. Consider the following statements with respect to Vice President. Vice President is the part of the Union Executive alongside the President. Mohammad Hamid Ansari is the only person to be re-elected as a Vice President twice. Office of the Vice President ranks second in the order of the precedence of the presidents. Yes. Mohammad Ansari is wrong answer. 1 and 3 is the right answer. Union executive consists of the president, vice presidents, and council of ministers with the prime minister as the head of the head to advise to the president. The first vice president Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan and 13th vice president Muhammad Hamid Ansari are the only two people to be re-elected as a VPs. The office of the vice president is the second highest constitutional officer after the president and ranks second in order of the precedence and first in the line of the succession to the presidency. The vice president is also the member of the parliament of the India at the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. Nomination for vice president's polls started today. Consider the following statements. Lithium is a relatively stable alkyl metal. Argentina, Bolivia, Chile form the lithium triangle. Yes, B is the right answer. Because it is lithium is a soft silvery white alkali metal. Like all alkali metals, lithium is highly reactive, flammable, and must be stored in vacuum, inert atmosphere, or inert liquid such as purified kerosene or mineral oil. Lithium triangle is the region of the Andes rich in the lithium reserve around the borders of the Argentina, Bolivia, and Chile. The area is thought to hold around 54% of the world's lithium reserve. Australia to supply rare earth minerals lithium to India, Indian EV makers. Bunny grasslands seen in news found in Gujarat. Bunny grassland reserve या फिर बन्नी grassland form a belt of arid grasslands ecosystem on the outer southern edge of the desert of the Marsally Salts flats of Run of Kutch in the Kutch districts, Gujarat state, India. Banni grassland is a peculiar to the Run of Kutch. It has some 40 Sindhi speaking Maldhari cattle breeders hamlets home to the Halya Potra, Hingora, Hingorjaraja, and Muthua tribes. Gujarat plans on restoring Banni grassland, which is a high biodiversity area, with the reference to the foreign portfolio investment. Consider the following. They are the largely non-debt creating capital. Non-debt creating capital, unlike the foreign direct investment. FPIs, foreign portfolio investments, in India is regulated by the SEBI. Yes, but one is not correct because FDI, FPI, and depository receipts are non-debt flows. These inflows don't create any repayment burden. On the other hand, external commercial borrowing, FCZBs, foreign commercial loans, rupee denominated bonds, NRI deposit, banking capital, or debt creating flows. The Securities and Exchange Board of India regulates foreign portfolio investments in India. To invest in company in India, foreign investor must obtain an approval from SEBI. There was a massive outflow of FPI from India. Consider the following with respect to Environment Protection Act 1986. The Act empowers the central government to lay down the laws, standards for the quality of the environment. The purpose of this act is to implement the decisions of the United Nations Conference on the Environment and Development. The act also provides for the coordination of the activities of various central and state authorities established under the Water Act and Air Act. Choose the correct answer. 1 and 3. Environment Protection Act 1986 empower the central government to lay down standards for emission or discharge of environmental pollutants from various sources, having regard to the quality or composition of the emission or discharge of environment pollutants from such sources. The Act was passed by the Government of India, Article 253 of the Constitution of India, which empowers the Union Government to enact laws to give effect to the international agreement signed by the country. The purpose of the Act is to implement the decision of the United Nations Conference on the Human Environment (UNCED) took place in 1992. The Act also provides for the coordination of the activities of the various central and state authorities established under the other environment related laws such as Water Act, Air Act. The Environment Ministry proposed to dilute the provisions of the punishment for the violation of the Environment Protection Act (EPA). Consider the following statements with respect to National Education Policy 2020, New Education Policy. New Education, National Education, National Education Policy 2022, no, 2020 is the third such education policy post-independent India. National Education Policy 2020 was drafted based on the recommendation of the Bimal Jalan Committee. ABC, Academic Bank of Credit framework is the part of NEP, yes, but two is out of them. First NEP came in 1968 and second in 1986 under the Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi respectively. New Education or National Education Policy 1986 was revised in 1992 when P.V. Narasimha Rao was Prime Minister. The third NEP released under the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. New education policy was drafted based on the recommendation of the Kasturi Rangan Committee. ABC will allow higher education institutions to maintain a digital repository of credits earned by the students Under the ABC, students can choose to study one course in year in one institution and switch to the another one of the next year. Prime Minister to inaugurate Akhil Bharatiya Shiksha Samagam on the implementation of national education policy at Varanasi. Consider the following statement regarding Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO). SCO is governed by the heads of the State Council, which meets twice a year. The headquarters of SCO is Shanghai, that of RATS, a regional anti-terrorist structure, executive committee in Tashkent. Which are the correct? Yes, B is the right answer. Oh, so both are incorrect. SCO is governed by the heads of the states council. It's a supreme decision making body which meets once a year. हर साल में एक बार होता है इसका मीटिंग. Military exercises are also regularly conducted among the members to promote cooperation, coordination against the terrorism, other external threats, and to maintain the regional peace and stability. Headquarters of SCO is in Beijing and RATS anti-terrorist structure. The executive committee is based in Tashkent. SCO RATS is a permanent body of the SCO and it is intended to facilitate coordination and interaction between the SCO member states in the fight against the terrorism, extremism, and separatism. Shanghai Cooperation Organization conference in Tashkent in the last week of July May. See a meeting between India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Pakistani counterpart. Consider the following statement regarding the nomination of the members of Rajya Sabha. Rukmani Devi Arundel was a woman to be nominated to Rajya Sabha. Such nomination by the president is the based on his discretion. The person who acquires the citizenship, who is not the original citizen, is not liable for such nomination. Why not? Two is absolutely out of them. So only and only one is the right answer. Rukmani Devi Arundel was the first woman to nominated. Oh, Rukmani Devi is the first woman to be nominated as the RS. President nominates 12 members who are known for their eminence in the field of art, literature, science, social service. Such nomination is not based on the president's discretion, but rather by the recommendation of the Council of Ministers. Any citizens, whether original or acquired, are eligible for such nomination. Eligibility criteria for such as nominated members remains the same as that of the elected members. The president has nominated P.T. Usha, Ilai Raja, Hegde, विजेंद्र प्रसाद. नेक्स्ट है इंश्योरेंस रेगुलेटरी एंड डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया इडाई. IDAI is a statutory body under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Finance. IDAI is the five-member body consisting of a chairman, two permanent members, and two non-permanent members. These are the correct. IDAI, एक is the right answer. Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India IRDAI is a regulatory body under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Finance, Government of India, and is tasked with the regulating and licensing the insurance and reinsurance industries in India. It was constituted by the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority Act 1999, an act of the Parliament passed by the Government of India. The DAI is a 10-member body consisting of a chairman, five full-time, four part-time, part-time members appointed by the Government of India and asked with the regulating and licensing the insurance and reinsurance industries in India, which are the correct. Hmm.